All right, everyone, it's that time that we look forward to each and every week. It is 5 o'clock. As I say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? We just happened to hit the finish line on the East Coast a little ahead of some of my friends on the platforms. If you're joining us on LinkedIn Live, we welcome you. Same with YouTube Live, Facebook, our 3-1 group live page as well. Thanks for joining. I do this each and every week. It's just a chance to unwind here in my office, the ALS Association North Carolina chapter, downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. And our topic today, because it is booming in Raleigh and other cities across the country. What is it about businesses coming out of COVID and really turning it on? We're going to talk with my guest today. So we thank you for joining. You can give comments and questions down at the comments section as well, and you'll be able to watch this after the production as well. So let's get started. And as I said, welcome everyone. It is time for Live at 5, and let me put up my Live at 5 banner right there. And I'm going to welcome in my guest this week. We've talked some sports through the various weeks. We had some people from various parts of my past in the cities, whether it be Los Angeles or Indianapolis or some other cities that we're going to feature. This one is where I am right now in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is one of the hottest, I think, business hotbeds out there right now. And no one would know better than my friend, who's the president and publisher of the Triangle Business Journal, and Jason Christie. Jason, good to see you.
Dave, great to see you. How are you?
Yeah, it's good. This is the way we kind of wind it down on a Friday. Is this okay for you?
That's fine. I didn't know if we were going to have drinks or it was just a conversation.
No, you know what? I kind of go lightly at this part of it at 5 o'clock. We assume that other people across the country are still hard at work.
Sure.
You've been busy. I know there's a lot of business people watching this. What is it that we're finding that has made the Triangle, which is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, why has it become such a hotbed, Jason?
Well, just like so many people that have chosen to live here. It's not just moving here because of a job, but chosen to live here. The diversification of industry. I mean, we're top notch in healthcare, top notch in education, top notch in technology. We have a lot of really smart people here, and a lot of smart people that are moving here. They've chosen to be here. I haven't seen a stat on this, but the number of people that already worked from home that chose to move to Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Chapel Hill, this whole triangle region of North Carolina, because they want to be here. It's attractive. You have the 4 seasons. You're 3 hours from the ocean, 3 hours from the mountains. We've all heard that before. It just continues to flourish. And I think companies are starting to see and have seen the attraction to being here in North Carolina.
This, to me, in my days in Dallas, is Austin many years ago, when it became the hotbed. Are there lessons, do you believe, that the Triangle has learned in what to do and how to handle it?
That's a great question. I think that I think the lessons are being learned. I mean, there's several factors that go into that. I talked to someone several months ago, and I asked this question: what is the biggest difference between this region and Austin? Because we've heard so much about the similarities in Nashville too. And he said, if you take everything there is in Austin, or actually if you take everything that's in Raleigh and Durham and Chapel Hill and Cary and all of these surrounding areas and scrunch it together, you have Austin. And I think that there is something to be said about the fact that there's so much opportunity here in such a wide area. We have so much room. You know, if we roll up our sleeves, we work together. And I'm not saying sit around the campfire and let's all be friends, but at the same time, we're such a collaborative market. And if we can continue to do that and continue to drive home and tell everyone about the opportunities that are here and how great it is to be here, I just think it's going to continue to be successful.
Where are people coming from? Where are these companies coming from? We know during pandemic and we know due to various situations in states that many California companies are saying, see you later. What other areas are people coming from?
Well, let's take a look at this. I mean, California is obviously a major area that people are looking to move. Companies are looking to either expand out of or move out of. We've seen those stories in Texas. We're starting to see those stories here. But they really are coming from all areas. And not only that, but they're also looking at many areas across the country, whether it be, in the life science sector, if they're looking in the Northeast in the Boston market or Philadelphia or other areas like that, they're looking to this area. So they're coming from all over. It's not one specific area, and there's a lot of homegrown expansion as well. Whether it be Red Hat, who just made an announcement yesterday about more jobs coming to Raleigh, or companies that already have a presence here that have made the decision that we're going to continue to expand.
It is amazing. This unexpected to those of you who cover the economics of this area, Jason?
Are you talking about Apple specifically, or are you talking
No,
about
just in general. This trend that we're seeing in the explosion right now.
It's not. I mean, there's several things that had to take place over the last few years in order for companies to look at this area in a more attractive way, and I think a lot of those things have been taken care of. And so, you talked to Christopher Chung with the EDPNC, the Economic Development Partnership in North Carolina. You talk to these economic development leaders who are saying, we have a lot of companies looking here. So what do we need to do to bring them here? And I think people, like I said before, they're rolling up their sleeves and they're getting the job done.
Yeah. I don't want to say we're the only area, because there must be a list of finalists that some of these companies that you end up talking to and saying, tell us what you're thinking or what it came down to. Are there any other cities that are considered hot places now in this country?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, too. I mean, I'm hearing a lot out of Tampa. I'm obviously hearing a lot out of in Orlando, many areas in Florida, but Dallas, Austin, and some places in the Northeast that are obviously very attractive, too. Charlotte's another area, and even areas in South Carolina. Companies are looking to expand. I just think the Southeast is that area. And again, I mean, even the outlying areas of our region. I mean, you look at Johnston County and several counties surrounding the Triangle. There's so much opportunity, areas of that can be expanded, that this is just the start of it. I really believe. I think that we are on a trajectory to truly grow significantly over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Now, it seems like every week, because of my past, we end up talking a little sports. I would have to say that sports and entertainment play a big role in what attracts a lot of people to move to certain areas. I can't imagine that Duke, North Carolina, and NC State don't play a really pretty cool factor for those companies that end up moving here, just not only because of sports, but the think tank that some of those schools bring as well.
Absolutely. Higher education is so important. A lot of these companies, there's individuals and groups within each of these universities that are directly working with these companies to bring them here. A lot of the leaders of some of these companies, they've graduated from Duke with masters and UNC and other schools around the area. So that does play a major role. Sports and entertainment, you're absolutely right. I mean, you look at the Hurricanes and their success going on. You look at, there's been a lot of talk of Major League Soccer. There's even a lot of people out there that would like to see Major League Baseball come here. So that all factors in. And don't forget about esports. Esports is that industry that a lot of people don't talk about, but there's a small group of people that are talking a lot about it.
Now, you all and a lot of other journals across the country have a job of covering the business in the area, which many of us are fascinated in. We count on. Take us back as a publisher to March of 2020, what you started to think, what was going to happen to content and what we saw in the business world and where we are today now.
Well, it's interesting. I believe March 14th of last year, we all left our office here in the Triangle, and myself, 2 weeks and we'll be back, and then maybe a couple months, and then it was 6 months. Here we are now. We're starting to come back to our offices now. But one thing, I think in times like this, people go to what they're comfortable with. People go to areas of, where they can get their information. And where else are they going to get their information if they're not able to leave their home than to come here and look online or look in their print publication that comes out every week. And I'm not just talking about us. I mean, there's media, media in general, has grown. Our audience continues to grow on an annual basis. And I know a lot of media outlets have experienced the same growth. So this year, as we continue to come out of our homes and business resumes, and for some business never stopped, it just continues to be. We continue to see growth all the way around.
You and I go back to all my reporting days. When you talk to people, you're trying to find out what they're thinking. What do you think in the return to work? Not just in our area, Jason, but those of watching across the country. What do you think has kept up CEOs at night, worrying about returning to work?
Well, I think one of them is, the vaccination story. The vaccination, can we or should we require our employees to do it or not? In addition to that, you look at, the return to work. People have grown accustomed to working from home. We've realized that companies can have their employees work from home, and they're as effective. I saw someone the other day. It's like, it's not return to work because we've been working. It's return to office. What does that look like? And I think it's going to look different for a lot of different types of companies. Some, you're not going to see anybody return until 2022. Some you're going to see, voluntary for next several months. And then there's some that, will go back to work. But I think it's going to be all over the board. And even we have to think about those things too, because, someone that works for a company based in Raleigh, maybe in Naples, Florida, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they may be working from there. Are they local? Are they, so there's a lot of things to think about along the way.
Yeah. I mean, some of these companies have so much stakes in the game. I think timing has to be impeccable. Once again, I ask you, are you surprised at the timing now? I mean, they've obviously all consulted with a lot of different experts out there to know this is the time to move. Or, I mean, are you just surprised at any of those things that are happening now?
I'm not. I don't think. I don't think I'm surprised by much anymore. I mean, look what we've been through over the last year. In fact, I just said to my wife the other day that we've been here in our house for a year with our children in remote learning, and it doesn't. Looking back on it now, are we going to look back a few years from now and say, "Remember that time we all were home for a year?" So when you talk about surprises, no, I just don't. Nothing really surprises me. I think each company and each industry has to look at what's best for their company and their employees. Employees have to be top of mind, and their physical and mental health and their family situations when you're talking about. I mean, look at the number of opportunities that are available out there that just have not been filled yet.
Yeah.
People have the ability to choose where they want to work, so you have to make sure that you take care of your employees.
Did you grow up a newspaper guy?
Dave, funny story. I was sitting in my high school cafeteria in 1992. I did a lot of high school sports announcing, and my athletic director came in and said, got this new community newspaper coming to town. They're looking for a sports writer. I was never into sports up until that point, never wrote a story in my life, and I said, yeah, sure. And that's kind of been the story of my entire career. I've always thought to myself, am I ready for that? And then I've taken the plunge because I believe in doing what others say can't be done or think that can't be done and proving that it can be done. So from there, I did sports writing, went into sports editing, realized this new great thing called the internet, launched a daily online news website based off of a weekly publication. And those sirens are in your neck of the woods, not mine.
Yeah, those are right outside mine.
But just great experiences along the way. I mean, I'll never forget my first round of golf was in 1997 when I did a media tournament for the Buick Open in Grand Blanc, Michigan. And they said I didn't have any golf clubs. They had to loan me some. And they said, you're going to be teeing off on 17. You're teeing off with last year's Buick Open winner Justin Leonard. Never golfed a day in my life. And I mean, so many experiences. I got told off by Tiger Woods that same year in a press conference. I'm like, yes, I got told off by Tiger Woods. I'm just a 20-something reporter. And so I've had some great experiences. I absolutely love sports now. But the trajectory of my career has just been media. I love media. I love everything about it. Print is not dying. Digital is growing. It's just a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I keep my hand in it, even working in the nonprofit world, because I love the world of content. I'm still a newspaper guy. I love to have it in my hand still. But this. I have two journals I subscribe to. I'm a longtime Sports Business Journal subscriber because they turn the world of sports coverage daily, 24/7, basically. And for you guys, the Triangle Business Journal as well. I think you do a fantastic job. It's kind of what we found in the sports world during my years at ESPN. People would say fantasy football, it'll never make it. And then it became intensive coverage has to be around it. Now we're seeing it in the gambling world. Mm-hmm. It has to be intensive, specific coverage. That has to be one of the things that showed you guys that there's still something there, because we want good quality coverage that covers business.
Is
that true?
It is so important. It really is. And when I look at the size of my staff compared to other, media outlets across the area, we're not the largest. But with what we do and what we focus on, we do it for the readers, and we do it with such passion. The entire team. And this isn't a commercial for the Triangle Business Journal by any means, but every single person that works within our organization does it because they have a passion for what they do. And it's the thrill of the scoop. On the sales side, it's the thrill of the sale, and it's the ability to inform, educate, and communicate with business decision makers wherever they might be, whether they're reading the print publication, they're looking online, or they attend one of our events, whether it's virtual or in the future live.
What's interesting is, and let me remind folks, you'll be watching this later probably, but if anyone is watching, maybe you're in the business world, maybe you have a topic or a question, go ahead and put it in the comments section as well. Jason, I think no matter what city I've been in, whether it's Indianapolis, living in Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, Dallas, there was always talk of infrastructure needs, whether it be the fast rail in California or metro service in Dallas. What issues are we facing? Not just us, but a lot of cities in the next 5 to 10 years. What do you think will be the main infrastructure topics that we'll be discussing?
Well, I mean, the needs, the utility needs, number one, but also roads, commuter. It is so important, and it is imperative to our future to make sure that that's taken care of. I mentioned Michigan. I grew up in Flint, Michigan, where a majority of the people that lived in the county I was from worked for General Motors. 80,000 people. Now today, that's around 8,000 people, and people are waiting for General Motors to come back. So right now, you have not enough people. Too many people and not enough opportunity. Here, we have so much opportunity, and we don't have enough people. I was reading a report the other day that said if we continue on the same line that we're on right now, by 2030, we will be short 400,000 people for the amount of many positions that will be available. So we have to prepare for everything. So those things like commuter, all utilities that are associated with development, roads, they have to be maintained. They have to be built. We got to be smart about it. We can't just let every willy-nilly thing come in.
No, I think that's fabulous. I mean, who pushes this? I mean, who leads us through progress over the next 5 years in these issues?
Well, let's just say it's everyone's job, and not that you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen on this one. It's your job. It's my job. It's our job as leaders. It's the people that are looking toward the future, the ones that have children that are growing up in this area. It's the ones that plan to raise a family in this area. We all need to speak up. And be honest, I mean, it's not like it's a bad situation. We're in a fantastic situation, but we have to make sure we're forward thinking all the time. We have to be that next step ahead, or else we will not be able to succeed with the trajectory that we're headed.
All right, let me ask you a few fun topics now. One of the things that I like that you guys do is you host various award shows, various recognitions. One of them that I haven't been asked back, so I must have not done a very good job. But you and I got a chance to be with you actually for the Best Places to Work awards in our area.
Yes,
I was amazed at the fun that these people together were having. What are the common characteristics do you find in the winners of the Best Places to Work? Probably anywhere in this country, probably would all be the same.
Sure. The people that win, the companies that win Best Places to Work are full of employees that care about their company. They care about the community they live in, the whole live, work, and play montage that we talk about. And it truly is. I mean, that's one of our more fun awards. And Dave, we're still a few months out, so don't worry. But, that's something that we're looking at a virtual setting probably for this year. We're not going to put 500-600 people in a room this year, I don't believe. I don't know if we will or not because of the tight quarters. Maybe we will. Announcements change on a daily basis. But with events like that, we just announced 40 Under 40 all week this week. And these people care about the community. They're not involved in nonprofits and community-related activities because of the company they work for. They're involved because it means something to them. And that is what really sets these people apart here as well as across the country.
You know what? That was my next one. What are the characteristics of 40 Under 40? What are we finding in the young leaders out there? I say young because they are really.
They are embedded in the companies they work in and want to move forward and lead those companies. And I'll tell you why I say that is because you know how old our oldest under 40 honoree is?
Mm,
Just
right
turned
at just turned 40.
no, I'm sorry. The oldest honoree over
Oh,
the years,
so
21
just
years.
okay,
60.
21.
60 years old.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I won't say who it is, but that person and many of the others are still at the companies they were with when we honored them. And it's
Oh
an
my
amazing
goodness.
story. So when I look at that, I look at a couple of things. Number one, where they're at in their company, where they're at in the industry, and what they do from a community standpoint. It goes beyond what they're doing again for their kids or for the companies they work for. It's what they're doing for the community and why they're doing it. It really comes back to the why. And you and I have talked about the why before.
I got an idea. Would 50 still doing it over 50? Can that be a new category?
I think our sponsors would look at that as a money grab, to be honest with you.
I mean, come on, we're still spenders, right? I mean, come on.
Yes.
All right. I have to come up with the ideas. That's what I do.
No, I appreciate it.
Alicia, thank you for watching. Alicia's my former colleague out in Los Angeles. So her biggest challenge day to day was being 2 offices down from me and putting up with me singing rock songs every time I walk by. What is your biggest challenge on a day to day basis? She wonders.
Great question. I think it's right now it's employee health and employee well-being. It's not a challenge per se, but it's always being mindful of that. My day is different every single day. If I'm not doing a video interview or pre-recording an event right these days, I'm talking to someone in the audience. But really, it's not a challenge, but it is top of my mind on a daily basis. Is making sure the employees and the people that work for us are happy, they're healthy, and assisting wherever I can.
I had it. That's a great challenge, by the way, and it is something that takes day to day. I had a unique look at this Raleigh, North Carolina Triangle area, Jason, because when I came here in 2007, it looked one way. I came here as co-founder of the Fan 99.9,
Mm-hmm.
and then left for 6 years and came back. And very few places have I ever been that when you leave and you come back, it's gotten better. I think a lot of places, they say you can never go back home because it just won't live up to expectations. There's probably some other areas like that, but do you find that pretty consistent here?
I do. In fact, I find something else interesting. I've talked to a lot of executives who have been here, and they're here for their second time. And of the age that they're at, I'm thinking they're getting close to retirement. And I think what it is that they're with the same company. They're looking to retire, and they want to have the company relocate them back to where they're comfortable with and they want to retire to. So I think, what's not to like? What's not to like? If you can choose to be unhappy in the area that you live in, and if that's the case, you don't have to live there. But I think people live here because they want to. And if they left, they realize, think about some of the grads that leave and go to California, go to New York. How many of them are coming back? Because number one, the opportunity's here, and and the next number is that they want to be here.
Interesting. I was joking when I said the 50 still getting it done at over 50 or the 60 under 60, but do you think the growing trend will continue to work longer into our latter years?
I think so. I know I'll probably be working well into my 70s, the way things are going right now. But and I don't think there's any problem with that. I think that I know a lot of people that are older than I am that still continue to come up with great ideas, and they continue to lead their companies in a way that I think can still teach some of the younger crowd what they need to do.
Yeah. Well, Jason, I really enjoy. I'm me. I'm all about partnerships. I really enjoy what you guys do over there. You know what we do here at the ALS Association, and just like me, you have a why and an interest in what we do as well, don't you?
I do. And I think I announced this, but I mentioned this on LinkedIn, is that my mother passed away from ALS.
Mine too.
9 years ago. And just a nasty, nasty disease. Every disease, and everyone has a story about the disease their loved one may have passed away from if they had one. But it puts a special place in my heart. for what you do and what the ALS Association does. So whenever you're doing something, and I was told when I came to this market, get involved. And I have to be a little bit agnostic with nonprofits that
Sure
I work
you do.
with. I love everybody, but ALS Association means a lot to me personally because of the personal effect that it's had on me.
Well, that's very interesting you say that, because you know what? I talk to a lot of other nonprofits because we need to compare notes. There's a lot of people that support a lot of different things out there. It's another reason why we try to partner. I try to partner with other 501(c)(3)s, like the NFL Alumni Carolinas chapter that we're doing Monday night in Charlotte at the Top Golf Challenge, because it affects many people. And in that particular one, it has affected a lot of NFL guys, and we're honoring Dwight Clark that night. So I appreciate what you do. I hope we continue to partner, but more so, I just wanted as a friend to come on tonight and talk some issues in the business world. Thanks so much, Jason.
Not a problem. But before I go, have you told your audience about the business challenge that you are working on right now?
No. You know what? I will definitely do that, because I'll even put up the link. Okay. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you very much.
And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
All right. That's Jason Christie. He is the president and publisher of the Triangle Business Journal. And I did that because, there's just a wide range of topics, friends that I have. Folks, when I first started doing this 7 weeks ago or whatever, 7-8 weeks ago, I just said, I love getting guests. I love talking and interviewing people. And that's, and I still think there's a need for that, even after my days of broadcasting and now what I do. So I realized that I didn't need a book of contacts. You're right here. And there's so many interesting people that I'm associated with. Let me just tell you, over the next month, I'm trying to make them a variety of different subjects. And I hope you found something interesting there, because I think the business world is fascinating. I follow the sports world closely, but I'm on CNBC all the time as well. In a couple of weeks, I'll have the great Andrew Bernstein. Andrew is a Hall of Fame photographer who I'm not sure if I ever worked an NBA playoff game in all my years where Andrew wasn't on the sideline. He is enjoying NBA Hall of Fame activities this weekend, in which I wish I was there because the honor is going to Kobe Bryant, much deserved, and we obviously thought he'd be there to make his speech someday. But Andrew will have some incredible stories. He did a lot of collaborations and projects with Kobe, and I got a chance to see him during my years on the Lakers broadcast. Stacey Sager will be joining us in our next month. The widow of Craig Sager, my good friend who lost his battle to, and we'll talk about blood cancers and things that she's trying to do to keep Craig's name out there, and the support that they get as well. Also, my friend Craig Can. He has a book, Can You Get Our Attention? You saw him on the Golf Channel for many years, host of Sirius XM show. He'll be by as well. So we're going to do that each Friday. I don't know if you saw last week's. We had a hoot, and we went like a full hour. And so we had a blast with the former sports anchors in Indianapolis. And if you didn't get a chance to see the great Mark Patrick, spent many years as a character on the Bob and Tom show. If you didn't hear his impression during a Bob Night story, or his impression of Dick Vitale, getting him to do an impression in front of the person that he was doing the impression of, you have to look that up. Please watch those past episodes. As Jason said, we are doing the Business Community Challenge across North Carolina to show support for our walk coming up on June 26th. What we're asking companies to do is step up and for a donation of $2,500 or more, we're featuring them in a full page thank you ad in the Triangle and the Charlotte Business Journal and the Triad as well. So we hope you're a part of that. I also wanted to tell you, because I'll be in Charlotte, how crazy has this gas situation been in your area? It really hit us hard in North Carolina. So we've been planning. My colleague Gerald Talley, who was listening a little bit earlier, Go Pack, he said, we've postponed this thing a couple of times through the pandemic. So everything looks good for Monday night. We'll be in Charlotte, and there are still a couple of single and pair tickets left. But we're going to be at Topgolf having a good time with the NFL Alumni Carolinas chapter. But this time, what I wanted to tell you is we did something very cool. We're doing an online auction on a new platform we have. So you can go to alstopgolf.ggo.bid, and you can also bid. You don't have to be participating that night, and you can bid on some of the items. But one of the items is a 1 year membership to the Dormi Network. And the Dormi Network is an unbelievable golf membership package. It's 1 year. It allows you, it's valued at $21,000. So when you go there, you might like to be a member of a club. So it includes the initiation fee. It includes the 1 year, and you can play the Dormi Club in Pinehurst. You can go to Ballyhack Golf Club in Virginia. There's just an amazing amount of things. I think that I had it here. Yeah. There's Ballyhack, just a beautiful course. But this is going to be one of them. And then there's a stay and play package on there as well that is valued at $3,400 that allows you to go and stay with a group of four and play at one of these courses. So you can bid on those just like all the NFL alumni and the golfers that we'll have on Monday night. So we think that's kind of cool. And but yeah, this gas thing has been crazy to see people in line. So I'm doing something I haven't done in years. I am boarding the Amtrak train on Sunday afternoon and hitting downtown Charlotte, taking it via rail, just so I don't have to worry about trying to find a gas station along the way. But we're going to honor Dwight Clark that night. His brother, Jeff Clark, Eddie DeBartolo, wishes he would have been there or could be there, but he's unable to make it. But we're going to indeed honor Dwight Clark, who was the recipient of a touchdown pass that became one of the most famous plays in the catch of all time. Unfortunately, the team that I was rooting for, the Cowboys, had poor coverage in the secondary, didn't they? Safe to say. But Dwight made a heck of a catch, and he lost his battle to ALS, and we're going to remember him and honor him that night as well. So that's a little bit about what's going on in my world. I hope you had a great week. Tune in next week. I think I've got one next week. I'm not going to do one on Memorial Day Friday, the Friday before Memorial Day. We'll take that off and rest a little bit. But as you can see, working hard to get some good guests for the month of June. Some you may be interested, some you may not. I just hope you find these enjoyable. So thanks so much for watching today. Thanks, Jason Christie, for joining from the Triangle Business Journal. And I hope you have a great and blessed weekend. Thanks, everyone, for joining on these platforms.